What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Roll Credits. Recently, Wendy's announced that they were dropping a Thin Mint flavored Frosty, and it got Marshall and I thinking, what's the best fast food item? So we're going to compete in a friendly little draft. We're going to be picking our favorite fast food items from different categories. We're going to be posting a poll on it. Whoever wins the overall poll is going to pick a piece of media for the loser to review. So, shall we flip a coin to see who goes first?
Absolutely. Lucas, I want you to call it. I cannot call it for you.
All right, we're doing this live on the air, hundreds of miles away from each other. All right, I'll call heads.
All right. It is tails.
Oh.
I get first overall pick. All right, here we go.
All right.
Okay, with the first selection in the fast food draft that we are doing, I am selecting for my burger. I am selecting the Wendy's Baconator.
Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that one. That wasn't even in my draft.
That's crazy that that's not even in your draft.
I know.
That actually baffles me.
Well, that's because I picked my favorite item from McDonald's, the Quarter Pounder with cheese.
All right, that is also a respectable answer.
Very respectable. Who's next?
And now, since you also then get to pick your chicken sandwich first.
All right. This is one of my favorites. It might not be the most iconic thing off this menu, but I'm going with the Chick-fil-A Deluxe. Love me the Chick-fil-A Deluxe.
All right, that is respectable. I knew you were going to go to that, which fucking bones me because that's the iconic chicken sandwich.
Read like a book. What can I say? It's the best pick. It's
All
my
right,
favorite
well,
thing.
I guess if I have to rebuttal, I'm going to go with this spicy Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What's up?
And then I get to select my fry. All right. You know what? This may not be the most popular fry on the planet, but in my opinion, this is definitely up there. I am going with the Arby's curly fry.
You stole my answer. That's what I was going to do.
Yep.
You knew it was going to be Arby's. I knew it was going to be Arby's. Arby's has amazing fries. That's my favorite take. I'm going to have to go with McDonald's. McDonald's has very popular standing.
Yeah,
I think when they're fresh,
absolutely.
when they're hot, they're the best. So we're just going to have to see what the public likes. Just going to have to see. For the
and then
dessert,
yeah, you get to select dessert.
For the dessert, I'm going with the Oreo McFlurry. It's my personal go-to at McDonald's. I feel like it is a great pick.
All right, I don't hate that. Okay, I'm surprised you didn't go this route, though. I am going with a Reese's Blizzard.
Ooh, Reese's Blizzard. That's pretty good. We're both going for Blizzard-type products.
Absolutely. And then what? Do I get to take the drink first? Yeah?
Yeah, that means you get to take the drink.
Yeah.
I already know what you're going to pick. Starts with a B.
No, it doesn't start with a B,
Does not.
Lucas.
You're not doing that one. Okay, what are you picking?
No, I mean, I gotta go with this because this is here. My honorable mention for this answer would have been High C Orange from McDonald's, but I'm also selecting a McDonald's drink, and I am going with McDonald's Sprite.
Oh, no! McDonald's Sprite! Oh, I forgot about McDonald's Sprite. Obviously, it's very different. I thought you were going to go for Mountain Dew Baja Blast because that's your favorite soda.
Oh, yeah, no, that's such a great point. I forgot Taco Bell has that. Nah, that belongs in a can or a bottle.
Okay. So you're going with McDonald's Sprite, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm going with the this is tough. McDonald's Sprite is hard to beat.
Are you picking this dark horse candidate you were talking about earlier?
I think I am. I'm just gonna put my faith in it. Chick-fil-A frozen lemonade. Love the frozen lemonade. Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah. That's a good fucking pick.
That's pretty good.
Lie.
Awesome. So
I didn't even think about that.
We will be posting the polls over social media. By the time this episode is out, the polls will already be done. We will be reviewing the winners of the draft in an upcoming episode. And once again, the winner of the draft will pick a piece of media for the loser to review. Let's get started with the episode.
All right, well, let's hop right the hell into it. So today, we are reviewing, I believe this is a 2012 film. It is a movie called The Hunt. And we had to both read subtitles for, I think, about 90% of this film?
Pretty much.
Because I believe 90% of it is spoken in German, if I believe.
Yeah, it's is Denmark's language Dutch? Is that the difference? Is it Dutch? Is it German?
It says it's set in a Danish village, so
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's not like too like there was definitely some German words being said at least, so it's probably like a subdivision of German.
Yeah, I haven't done much research on European dialects.
Neither have I. Well, Lucas, might as well take it away.
So, this is a film about a guy named Lucas, no relation, who works at a kindergarten class and he gets accused by a kid who has a crush on him. The kid's name is Clara. Clara accuses Lucas of exposing himself to her, and the adults get caught up in the lie. They kind of bandwagon together and they manipulate Clara into convincing herself that Lucas touched her. And it becomes this whole misunderstanding plot where we sort of follow the effects of the consequences of Clara's actions. Lucas is ostracized, he is arrested, his dog gets shot. That's a whole no, it doesn't get shot, like a rock gets thrown at him, that his dog gets killed.
He gets strangled.
Yeah, there's a whole thing with Lucas's fallout. He's banned from going to grocery stores. He gets into fights with people. It's not really a hero's journey film. We don't really follow the case. We don't really follow the police. It's more or less a character piece, a tragedy.
Yeah, like almost like a visualization of, like, if one of us were to ever get accused of a similar thing, what we would maybe have to go through, especially due to it being a child.
And I
Because
think,
child graping is a whole other thing than graping.
yeah, I think one of the most, I think probably one of the most consequential pieces about this film that not many people talk about is the economic standing of Lucas. With the rise of the Me Too movement a couple years after this film came out, it is evident that celebrities pretty much can do whatever they want. Watching The Hunt, though, someone who is of working class status, yeah, they don't have any money to
Yeah,
shield them.
their whole life gets uprooted from them, basically. And it's terrible to see that happen, especially to someone who, like, for instance, Clara, Lucas's best friend in his entire life is Clara's father, which I think is really fucked up that, he sees even his own best friend get torn away from him, basically, due to the fact that he believes his own child's lie.
Yeah, it's a good writing poses a dilemma for the characters, and I feel like this is one of the best dilemmas that we've seen so far.
Not only that, you also have his ex-wife, who at first in the beginning of the film, kind of tells him that, I don't really want him going over there nearly as much as he's spending time here.
He's talking about
And
the kid,
then,
by the way. She doesn't
yeah,
want
yeah,
her kid to go to Lucas's house.
and then you kind of get into the whole point of when Clara finally tells, I believe her name is Gretchen, if I remember correctly.
Greta.
The like old, oh, it's Greta. Okay, yeah, the old lady who runs the nursery, who basically just kind of banishes him without even telling him really what he did because she just believes the kid so much,
Kids don't
which I
lie.
do find kind of wild.
Yeah, kids don't lie, they keep saying.
Yeah, they say this through the entire course of the film. When I'm sitting here watching this, and I mean, I know we're Americans, so it's an entirely different type of socialization between children. We lie all the fucking time. Childrens are known to fucking lie. Like, you're gonna
Yeah.
tell me you've never came home one night as a parent and you saw something was broken and you didn't think in the back of your head, I can't wait to hear the bullshit they make up for how this broke.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
As far as his colleagues go, I mean, you see literally every single one of his friends that in the beginning of the film, he starts, like, they do this big chant for him to start drinking because I guess he's not too much of a social drinker, which
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by.
Kind of an introvert.
And then you just kind of see everyone just split away from him except for, I believe, his uncle or like one of his brothers, like whoever he is.
The godfather of his son, Marcus.
All right, yeah. So one of his close friends, also his son's godfather, he's really the only one who sticks it out with him through and through the entire movie, in my opinion.
And it's relieving because so many movies, I hear about writing a lot, how a journey is not really much of a constant progression of growth. It's sort of a zigzag formation. Bad scene, good scene, bad scene, good scene. We are all over the place in terms of the emotional vibes. This movie is such a downer that I'm pretty sure the scene, his name's Brun, I'm mispronouncing his name, Marcus's godfather, the scene where we see him stick up for Lucas, this is after 30 minutes of Lucas just getting shit on. And it was a breath of fresh air. I felt relief to know that he had some sort of ally. And it's not like Brun was pulled out of nowhere. We saw him in the very opening scene when Lucas and his friends are partying by the docks.
Exactly. And it's terrible to realize that, like, Lucas, if this could happen to us at some point, just randomly in our lives, that we could just get accused of rape and then just go down the fucking shitter, or like go down with the ship, basically, because we don't exactly, are in the most economical standpoint to where we can kind of just fight it off and be like, oh yeah, it's just an accusation.
We don't have
Like,
good
we'd be
lawyers.
yeah, we'd be screwed. And it's crazy to realize, like, when is this movie set in is a good question.
This movie, I believe it's set in current day. It's set in 2012. I think the thing that's
Okay.
interesting, the thing that makes it different, though, Marsh, is the surveillance state of America. The one thing I notice in the fact that this looks like a much poorer community, I was surprised to learn that this facility that they were working in was a kindergarten because it looks a lot more like an American daycare. There's no security cameras. We never hear mention of security cameras. We never see
That's a good
security
point.
cameras in the United States. It would be much more easy to prove our innocence if such an event were to transpire.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all just hearsay over there, because that's all they can really take people on is their word.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to realize that, like, as you said, over here in America, it's just so much easier to, kind of get out of that due to how many cameras are around every corner you take, whether that's a security camera, someone's phone,
Oh,
or
yeah.
pretty much any type of camera you can think of.
But it's.
Something else that I wanted to bring up was that I totally forgot about the subplot with the dishwasher from the daycare that he ends up getting into like a whole like lovers quarrel with.
Oh, yeah.
She was a very feisty person as far as I can see. She seemed to be like uh somewhat of an American, considering she can speak pretty much fluent English.
I think
I'm
she
not
was
sure exactly.
Russian. She sounded more
Oh,
Eastern European,
okay, all right.
but she
To
could learn
me, I don't know.
English.
She sounded like she was like from America, surprisingly, but I could be wrong. But I just thought it was very odd how you go from one scene of them being, kind of like getting it on, doing all the nonsense of like, a fresh relationship, and then they get into their first big argument of when Clara randomly shows up at Lucas's house to ask to walk the dog, and she's kind of second guessing on if she actually believes what she thinks of
Yeah.
him not touching her. And then Lucas kind of has like a crash out moment and just throws everything out, is sick of her, doesn't want to deal with the nonsense of, having someone second guessing him. And I just think, you know, for this to kind of happen in one dude's life and just for it to be visualized in one movie, I don't know. This really gave me a whole different perspective on storytelling as far as like a scene like this.
Yeah. I was a big fan of Nadja because, of course, she's initially on Lucas's side, so you enjoy the alliances. But also, it's a good reason for us to feel the dramatic irony of the situation, the injustice that's being done on Lucas, no one believing him. One of the characters I was really captivated by was Marcus, Lucas's kid.
Yeah, Marcus was a very good character. I love the passion that he showed when he first saw his dad for the first time in probably
Oh
months,
yeah, that's
considering how like dictative his mom, Lucas's ex-wife, felt towards him,
who we never
especially after
see.
the allegations came out.
We
Yeah,
never see her. I'm
never
glad.
see her in the entire film. You simply just hear her through phone calls, and that is it.
Strong voice, yeah.
I,
Strong
I
force.
never, I never realized that when I was watching. I forgot we never saw her. But Marcus, he has to go through the process of defending his father with these allegations. I kind of can relate to him a lot due to the fact that, my own father has, been through his own kind of nonsense, I will say, to keep it at a bare minimum. So I can really get behind him being, defensive, especially going to uh Clara's house. I forget the father's name, Lucas's best
Theo,
friend.
Teo.
Theo?
Yeah.
Yeah, him going over there and him spitting on Clara for making these accusations,
Ooh, that's good
and him
acting.
just taking the beating from literal full blown adults. Like, if that was to happen in this day of America, like, that dude that beat him up would be in jail right now.
Well, it depends on the community. Some communities you can get away with that. I feel like in more populated areas, it would be easier to get caught.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One of the
Absolutely.
things that I felt was I got a similar emotional reaction was when Marcus goes to the store, and not only is he told to keep his dad from going there, he's also told that he's not allowed to shop there. So we see the consequences of Clara's decision goes far beyond Lucas. It affects his whole family. And the dog.
Yeah, and I do also find that interesting that, like, I can get, banning the father, obviously for the accusations, whether they be true or false. But banning the child and, like, anyone else who's affiliated with him, like, I think that's a little bit far-fetched, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really do. Especially for it just being a grocery store. And then also, to bring up the store scene, I'm going to bring up the store scene with Lucas.
Oh, it's such a good scene.
When he's getting pelted with, I'm assuming they're cans of something, whether it's spaghetti, beans, whatever, by the different grocerymen. And then he just comes in there and fucking headbutts the shit out of the butcher and just knocks him on his ass. I was surprised he had that in him. I really was.
You put a man to a certain point and they snap. It's kind of animalistic in a way.
Well, because, like, the way we've seen this entire movie, we never really got to see him, like, go over and beyond and kind of, like, crash out until, like, I'd say the last half hour to 45 minutes of the film is, like, when we really start to see him get at his breaking point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the beginning of it, was him just absolutely beating the shit out of that butcher. And then you see him walking out, just blood dripping down from his face. And you see Theo, Clara, and Theo's wife, forget her name right now, sorry, ma'am, just, like, kind of hiding in the car, just like, oh, yeah, we don't want to be seen by him.
But it's also a revelation because Theo doesn't know whether or not his daughter is telling the truth. And that's sort of the moment where he starts that discovery leads him down the road to make the decision to welcome Lucas back into his life. The church escalates it, obviously. There's a scene where
the
we'll
church
let you watch
scene.
the movie.
My god, this scene is beautiful.
Really
I
good
love
scene.
the way it was acted, the way it was played out. It was absolutely immaculate. So you have the town church. Obviously, no one's banned from the church. It's a place of holiness. It's a place of forgiveness.
It's a sanctuary.
Like how most churches are. Yeah, exactly. Anyone's welcome, whether you're a stone cold killer or you sell drugs on the corner. Anyone can come to repent for their sins. And he goes into this church all bruised up, mostly cleaned up now, though, and he sees everyone. He sees Theo. He sees Clara singing in the front. He sees, what was the woman he was talking to?
Nadja.
The dishwasher. Natcha. He sees her there. He just sees everyone in the town that has kind of banished him. Like, you even see it in the very beginning when the lady that he goes to sit with goes to a whole other aisle.
Mind you, this is after he was proven innocent. There is a sequence where Brunn, his Marcus's godfather, reveals that in the police findings, all the testimony from the children say that they were led into his basement because the parents kind of worked them up to the point of admitting such a lie. They believed in the fantasy. And the cops went to his house, found no basement. So that's why Marcus was released. That's how he ended up going to the store. That's how he ended up going to the church. But the damage has already been done. He's already ostracized, regardless of his proven innocence.
Yeah, it's like fixing a broken mirror. You're better off just buying a new one.
Yeah.
And honestly, I guess we can hop into this point now that I wanted to get into. What do we think about when we see the time jump and everyone's kind of, back to the way it was, quote unquote, and then Lucas's child gets gifted the rifle that's been handed down for generations, and then transitioning into the actual time when they go out to hunt. What do we think about that, Lucas?
It's a haunting scene because if I recall correctly, I don't think there's really a score during that. We don't hear any music. This is after Theo
No, there isn't.
Yeah, Theo decides to forgive Lucas on Christmas Eve, I want to say. And so we flash forward to a year later. And it's scary. It's awkward. All these people who wanted to kill this man are hugging him, talking to him, smiling at him like they're his best friends. When in reality, there were only two people who ever truly believed in him: his son Marcus and Marcus's godfather Brunn. Other than that, it's a very uncomfortable scene, and the ending where he nearly gets his head blown off, either intentionally or by accident, whether by his son or someone else in the woods, we never truly know due to the brilliant framing and lighting of the scene. It's a reminder that this event has lasting consequences. Lucas will never not live this down. Even with the awkward kind of happy resolution between him and Clara where he forgives her despite all the pain that she's given him.
That was a very awkward scene, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
Very awkward.
Felt so weird watching that because in the beginning of the film, you see Clara always go on about this thing about stepping on lines. Because I'm assuming, like, step on a crack, break your mom's back.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's something along those lines is why she always thinks this. And after this turmoil that this dude has been through, wanting to absolutely just throw away his entire life because what's the point of keep on living if you're just going to be banished from everywhere? And then him to come to the realization that, she is just a kid. Sometimes they do say things that they don't mean, and better or for worse, I guess he's still living on. But in my opinion, I wanted to bring this up to you. Personally, I think the dude that shot at him, weirdly enough, at least the way the dude was built from my perspective of it, it looked like the butcher that he had headbutted.
I wouldn't be surprised. The butcher was very aggressive, very closed-minded. Obviously, his perspective is completely warped. I don't even think they have a relationship, so I absolutely would not be surprised.
Now, Lucas, where do we rate this film on a scale of 1 to 5?
So this is the thing that I found really fascinating about The Hunt. I was miserable watching this film. Now,
really?
Yes, we've covered some intensive films before. Come and See, for instance, I think is the clear one because it literally is a recreation of genocide. But with that, there was a component of it that left me in awe, that made me think, wow, I really got something out of this experience in terms of how to tell a story, in terms of visual storytelling. This film is very well made, but I never want to watch it again. There's something about media involving predators, specifically pedophiles, that makes me uncomfortable. It gets under my skin. I don't like watching it. I don't want to see it. And that's where the interesting debate about quality versus personal enjoyment comes. Because there are plenty of films that are very tough, very hard to watch that I personally enjoy. But from my own perspective, this is one that just gets me the wrong way. So
yeah, it wasn't your cup of tea.
It wasn't, but I still have a lot of respect for it. I think it is a good film. It is very well made. But in terms of my overall opinion of it, which is just an opinion, it's not a metric of quality, I'm giving this one a 3.
Interesting. All right, so me and you have totally different perspectives here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this comes a lot from Come and See, as you mentioned, with, the kind of realization and it being, told on a story of something that, can happen in our everyday real life.
Absolutely.
And for that reason, and also the way that this movie was just handcrafted to kind of make you realize, anyone who's in the, middle to working class kind of people, this can happen to them as well. In my personal opinion, I am giving this movie a 4.
Oh, very strong rating. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Would you like to put this... What did we put for Toy Story 3? You gave Toy Story 3 a 4.5. I gave it a 5. Toy Story, I gave a... What did I give Toy Story? What did you give? I think we both gave it a 4. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I believe we did both give it a 4.
This is very weird. Do you think this is better than Toy Story 3? Very different films, but
I don't think it's better. What's higher, regular Toy Story or Toy Story 3?
Toy Story 3 is higher. We could put it between those movies.
Yeah, put it between those. I like that spot.
Sounds good. Awesome. Sounds like we got our selection. So the results of last week's poll came in. I asked what the best De Niro movie was because we watched Once Upon a Time in America. I did not include Once Upon a Time in America in the poll because I feel like there are more famous movies. In fourth place, with 18% of the vote, we have Raging Bull. People who voted for that are Conrad Dale Galvis,
right.
Eric Pick, and Jack Martino. Tied for second place, I guess that was actually third place. Tied for second place is Taxi Driver. People who voted for Taxi Driver.
Iconic.
People who voted for them are Cole Stefanowski, Ryan Dowling, Oliver Ferguson, and Felix. I need to figure out what Felix's last name is. I always forget it. Second place, tied with them, is The Irishman, also with 24%
All
of the
right,
vote.
yeah.
People who voted for The Irishman are Nick Carmazin, Sarah Foran, Justin Kilner, and Brady Bast. And finally, at the top of the list, with a whopping 35% of the vote, it's Goodfellas with Jackson Moyes,
of course.
Ryan Aller, Carolyn DeRosa, Ethan Larkin, Jason Cullen, and Jenna Melee. Thank you so much for voting on these polls. We love sharing the show with you. We love having you involved in this show. Next week, we will be talking about Joker, and we look forward to chatting about that then.
All right, everyone, peace out.